Okay, so folks, here we are at a very exciting place to me in family history. It's called Pickett's Beach, and it's in one of the parks in Newport News, Virginia, that's on the Chesapeake. And this park has now been named King Lincoln Park. But in the period between 1900 and 1930, when our grandmother and granddaddy were still young people, this was a very, very popular park of African Americans, and it was called Pickett's Beach. So if you look over here, this is the beach, and in this direction you see the beach as well. Now, beyond it, you can see some industrial ships and maybe a little bit of industrial buildings over here. And behind these trees, as you go towards perhaps the right of what you're looking, there are a lot of refineries, or it looks like industrial sites, which hired unskilled workers, and this is what made it a kind of undesirable residential area. But there was still this park behind it, and you can imagine all of this being very grassy at the time. And at the end of the park was the beach, where that blacks used as a kind of residential, as a kind of resort, what today we would call a club.
So why is it important for the family?
Because this is what Grandma called the scene of the crime. This is where she met Gratney Smith. She was Maggie Luster then, Mary Magdalene's Luster. And she was a woman who, the way she described herself was, of course, before World War II, women wore tight corsets and dresses down to their knees, or, they covered their ankles. And she said she would wear corsets, and she said she would tie them so tight, to be attractive, that one time she tied it so tight that she had to go to the doctor the next day. She had bruised her ribs. And she was a big, big, big dancer. She loved to dance. This is before she met the Lord. And she liked to have fun. And she said that she would be the last one to leave the dance floor. She said that sometimes the band would stop playing, and it was almost like they would have to tell her, get off the floor. And
So what would she be doing here? Like, what was she doing here at Pickett's Beach?
well, Pickett's Beach had a dance hall, and of course everything was segregated then. So this was the designated kind of public park beach area for blacks. So they had a dance hall and the beach. So she would come here, and they'd have a band playing outside. Like right here, you could see the playground. They would probably have a pavilion and a band, maybe a ragtime or blues, not a blues band so much as, I don't know, maybe ragtime music,
Yeah,
whatever the popular music was at the time. And she was a big dancer. And if you want a sense of what she looked like, here you have a picture close up of African Americans during this time period before World War I, because she didn't marry Granddaddy until 1913, which is right before the war started. So she would have been one of these, looking like one of these women out here at Pickett's Beach. And she would come out on like a Friday night or a Saturday night on an evening in the summertime to meet to meet guys, have fun. And then Granddaddy would probably have been somebody like one of these men, young. They come out to go swimming, because there was a bathhouse as well as a dance hall. And the bathhouse meant that, you could, men could go out like this, but, typically they had more to wear than what we do now in terms of swimming when they change in the bathhouse. So it was called Pickett's Beach, and so the guys would come out for a good time, you know, maybe to meet girls, and that's how he met Grandma. And Grandma was dating someone named Willie G. But when she met Granddaddy, she said she just gave up Willie G. And when we would ask why, she would just smile slyly. She goes, "I just like Gratney better." So here is a sign sort of commemorating this, what they call the strategic location.
The
And
scene of the crime.
the scene of the crime.